YouTube, what's going on? This is Javay with another message for you. The message today is about how to cherish people in your life. My thoughts wandered today to my grandmother. She passed away some years ago now. Her name was Janie. Is Janie. I'll say that. She still lives on in my heart and in my memories, so Janie is her name. There was a time where I came by to see her after work one day. I used to work at a Dollar Tree, and her place wasn't far from it. It was like right around the corner, walking distance. And I went to see her before I went home. And it was this one time she looked me in the eyes and she said, "Javay, come by to see me more often." And she had always said that, right? But there was something different about this time that I never quite, it hit me different, right? And you know, you hear people say these things all the time, like, hey, talk to me more often. Hey, call me more often. This one hit different, okay? So she says that, and I looked in her eyes, I said, okay. I wish I had asked her if everything was okay. I wish I had done more. I wish I had acted on the feeling that was in my head and in my heart more, right? But I didn't. And some months later, she was in hospice. I remember my dad was looking after her for a little while, like taking her to doctor's appointments, and then almost out of nowhere, it seemed as though she was in hospice. And maybe it was the fact that I was disconnected and, you know, doing my own thing. You know, I was always with friends back then. I was always getting into some wild shit. And I was always so wrapped up in what it was I was doing that I did not take the time to look into what all of my loved ones were doing. How are they? How can I check in on them? She passed away. She passed away in pain, I remember. A friend of mine who was a good friend of mine, we don't speak anymore, we ended on bad terms, said that God took her away. God took her away from all of that pain. I don't know how true that is. I don't know everything. What I do know is I wish I had said more to her. I wish I could have done more. I wish I had acted on her words that day. The moral of the story is cherish everyone, because you never know when their last day is going to be. And there's no truer, in my mind at least, there's no truer example in my life than my grandmother. No truer example of that than Janie. I miss her dearly. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. If there's anybody in your life that you love that you barely speak to them. You never know when their last day is, ever. With that being said, if you're watching this and I haven't spoken to you, hit me up because I love you. If we spoke at one point and we're on bad terms now, hit me up. Let's talk about it. I'm down for it. But that's all I have for y'all today, man. Stay frosty, man. It's a lot going on out here, especially in DC. It's a lot going on. It's crazy out here. So I love y'all, man. If you're watching this, if you have a beating heart, if you have two eyes, if you have a nose, if you have a mouth, if you're missing any of that shit, know that I love you. And holla at me. Take it easy.